World of YouTube out here with some new news on some Indian stuff I've been looking up on. And I needed to do this because it's hard to explain through two different towns and where to go and all kinds of stuff that's been coming up. Went out for a ride yesterday, clear my thoughts and head due to a lot of stuff going on. The kids, counseling, therapists. Oh man. So I decided to go out in a part of town that I haven't been in. And usually I go all over the place, but I stay on a route thing that I go through. But this time I took another turn and went another way and ended up in Bolton, Mass. And I've been through Bolton only through Route 117. But there is a back road that I never been on. And I don't know, whatever dragged me this way, to even think of this way, call me crazy. But I'm thinking more or less Indians, and all I got on my fucking head these days is these Indians. And due to the fact that I've been coming and finding up a lot of things about the Nipmuc tribes, the King Philip tribe, Wag. I can't really pronounce their name unless it's in front of me, but the more I find out, they dwelled a lot more closer than people think. In Bolton, Mass, I believe is another place, of course, that held a lot of Indians. And I'm going to drive through this road again, of course, with the video, give a little tour. And it is called Berlin Road in Bolton, Mass. It's all through the vicinity of this road and area. And there is goddamn so many large cliffs and rocks and swamps, and I believe the river runs through it. And Lancaster also was a main part of Indian dwelling also. And get this, what really strikes it very just unbelievably, insane that, and I gotta put two and two together because there's not much about the damn Indians that there should be. And this is why I'm doing these videos, to document this stuff, to bring you closer to the Indian tribes, due to the fact that, right, there's not much out there that people know about. And what people do know about Indians, and I get a lot of it looking up online, of course. Like I said, I'm doing this for the King Philip War. It was the first Indian war, and I want to bring it out just as not a bloody, gruesome, all these Indians were friggin' savages. They were, brutal killers, and the Englishmen didn't make themselves look so damn great either. And that's why in the book The Great Powwow is one of the best truthfulness that you can get close to this war. Just like I read articles about King Philip was killed and chopped up in many pieces and spread across the land, which he wasn't. There's only two things chopped off this guy's body, which was his head and his deformed hand that was injured during some gun fight or a malfunction of a gun, and he shot his hand by accident and whatnot. Yeah, I think it was a malfunction of a gun. He shot his hand and it came deformed, and that got cut off and gave to the Indian who killed him. But I'm finding out more that, yes, that tribe his tribe, Metacom is his name, real name, was in the vicinity of Taunton and lived along the Taunton River and into Bristol, Rhode Island, which Bristol, Rhode Island, may I add, once again, was a part of Massachusetts. And that was cut off, of course, and given to Rhode Island. And that's why his tribe now settled in Taunton, lived up along the midst of the Taunton River. That's a huge goddamn river. And Mount Hope, of course, was his main land for his tribe, and where his father, a great chief, also resided. And then there's streets there with their names, his father's name, King Philip's name, and so forth. And I think his brother's name too, down there in Bristol. But I mean, the Nipmucks is what they're called, lived throughout Ayer, Groton, Harvard, Lancaster, and Bolton. And why do I say this? And this is what's real fucked up, and that's not really known. But Littleton was once Harvard. They say in Wikipedia, which is a great source of information with some stuff, but there was not many settlers in Harvard at the time, but there was people living there. You know, they didn't erect their first church until like the 1700s. But there was people living there, but then they left it abandoned. This town abandoned. And you want to know why I believe they left the town abandoned? It was due to the King Philip War. And that the fucking, excuse me, I don't want to swear, that the Englishmen did not like the Shakers. And the Shakers used to live out Midwest more than East. So this was a big part. And they had a Shaker village there. You know, they have an original building of the Shakers. They have a brick building that's half torn down now, but it still stands, of Shakers building. I'll have to bring that little drive-by there near the Shaker Cemetery on Shaker Road. Been there. That's actually the cemetery I got left at when I was 6 years old. Brother's pulling a little prank on me, leaving me at the Shaker Village Cemetery. But like I said, Harvard wasn't even established with a name. So that was connected to Littleton. Lancaster used to consist of Bolton, too. So, and they say Lancaster held the Nipmucks there, well as Ayer, which was Groton. Ayer wasn't Ayer until 1700s, and Groton was, you know, there was a lot of these towns that were named, but were huge at times, but they had to cut them down, shorten them out, whatever. And that's how, you know, all this established. But it's just fucking amazing of how many Indian tribes live throughout these towns. And since I've been doing this, even up in Templeton, now they don't say in the book that I just did of what tribe it was, I forget, maybe they did. I'm going to say it was close to being the Natural Ways of Templeton, which is the Natural Way, which is now Nashua, but that's what they called them. And they were out through Nashua, New Hampshire, down through Neshoba area, like, but, or there could have been in Templeton the Mohawks, which is why the historical Mohawk Trail sets beyond North Adams in the border of New York. Route 2A. I gotta get out there too and do some, you know, pictures and scenery and some historical stuff for people that don't live around here, show you where they lived. But not knowing this, I never asked, of course, my father, which knows all about this stuff. He's been giving me the books to look up on this, but I've been doing a little further research on the internet and finding more There's even a set of woods from the Lancaster house of Willard, the soldier that was in pursuit in the King Philip War. Main guy that has his house in is now Harvard, on Prospect Hill in Harvard. The house still stands, but they have a scenery view there that you can see Mount Wachusett. And his house is like along the road there, and it still stands. I mean, I think it was rebuilt after the King Philip War because they burned it down. But, you know, one of the, I think maybe even a Garrison house might be up there, but his house was rebuilt and there. But you know, you can see a perfect view of Mount Wachusett. And he built this house there just for that fact, to watch the Indians. You know, for whatever reason. They, like I said, this war, why it was made, and why the English was getting so, you know, scared of the Indians because of the things they did. And it's safe to say that, yeah, you could say that the Indians were wild people. But they had heart. Don't forget they had heart. They were raised by the wild. They watched the wild. They watched the wolves. You know, they watched the birds or the, you know, they watched the squirrels back then eating out of the friggin', you know, the acorns. And they used to make, like, nut pie and stuff. Acorn pie, they call it nut pie. And stuff like that they brought to the pilgrims or penguins. I actually, for the first time in one of my videos, I said it before and I'll say it again. I tried an acorn. Broke it open, the shell. Took off the inner shell, got to the bottom of it, like the inner side of an acorn. Kind of tastes like a walnut. You know, it don't taste exactly like it. But it's in that midst of that form of what it was and what it tastes like. You eat walnuts. Hey, you can eat acorns. I ate one. Tried it one night while I was standing out there, you know, walking the dog. I seen one on the ground, cracked it open, like, yeah, it's not that bad. Put it in a pie or something. Which I don't know how they made pies back then, but yeah, without baking it. Unless they threw it over a flame or whatever, but whatever. But anyways, I got a lot of stuff, like I said, coming up. And this ride from yesterday just opened up a whole new door. And you know, I want to mention also, which I'm going to put up, not that it's what the Indians around here used, but since I've been opening up this door to the Indians, I've been getting some real crazy, you know, what could I say, reference toward it from people, from BJ's, the store. I was in there 2-3 weeks ago. Just had walked in, and as soon as you walk in BJ's in Leominster, they got, you know, you pass all the TVs, and you go, and you see where all they have the toys and the, you know, appliances. Right on top where they had the appliances is a goddamn teepee. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm looking up there, sorry language, but I'm looking up there. I even took a picture of it. I'm going to put it up for my thumbnail for this video. But yeah, a friggin' teepee. And I've been doing this now for about 3-4 months. It's been in the making of looking up Indians for a long time. You know, I've been looking this up for the past, you know, 3-4 years. I've been on the internet. I've always had it in the back of my mind. And, of course, back in my heyday, I didn't have all this technology to look into. Then again, I could have just went and got a book from my old man. But I need more information. I need, especially when it comes to, like, mapping and finding the place on Google Maps is awesome to have, because I can see the vicinity and even put up the, you know, the satellite, whatever, and have all the trees shown. You can find a lot of places there. But the internet of course, it sucks to say if it goes down, I'm done. I can't look up nothing. I can't do nothing, make videos. But I can search and I can come close to where I need to go. In this Indian stuff, I've been finding a lot of stuff not only on my own, but with the help of Google Maps, Wikipedia, which hopefully I break through in my goddamn videos. I'll be giving a big donation to Wikipedia for helping out with some of the stuff. But like I say, some of the stuff ain't accurate. But that book I had leading me to place, and I don't know, my instinct of being somewhere like in Oxford. Didn't know nothing about Oxford. Never been to Oxford until my son's football game. And since I opened up this Indian shit, I mean, I'm feeling the sense and presence of Indian out there. And now knowing that it is a huge hot spot like my area. So I'm going to be getting out there maybe next summer. Check and bring you to the place where I had my encounter. And I think the picture I got it up on a thumbnail picture of an Indian ghost saying how with its hand up. I mean, it's just fucking like, wow. Indians. And then today, just today, another thing I wanted to mention about, reference on Indians. I've opened up this whole fucking thing. Coming out of the store, and everybody knows at BJ's, you gotta hand your receipt, they gotta check your carriage. I brought my kids in the store, and they get out of control. It's another thing I'm dealing with these days, my kids out of control. Everybody has a kid out of control. This woman is always standing at the door, always making jokes, always saying hi, handing out lollipops to the kids. And today, which I don't know why she asked about the kids, because everybody knows it's a goddamn school day, but whatever. She literally comes out, freaks me out. Oh, you ain't got your little Indians today. What are they, in school? I'm like, what? Oh my God, are you serious? Indians. Everywhere I go. And, I don't know. It's like The Rock out there in Templeton. I found it through a book. I get the Indian presence of where it is, take the highest peak, and there it was. And I don't know. And then my name at that, I'm believing, is more towards Indian than Canadian French. A lot of Indians that lived up in Canada. And, to make known that on that part, Chief Medicom, was going to go to the Indians of Canada to have them help him in his war, but never made it due to the cold weather and lack of food. Pretty much stopped that war. Sucks to say. I wish I could have loved to seen him win, just to get a point across that we're not your slaves, we're not your puppets. And that's what it is. The Indians were put out as slaves, and actually, I gotta get to Deer Island, because Deer Island is another thing I found out. Not only is it the spot where everybody probably knows now as Baby Doe was washed up in shore, but that's where the Indians used to go to be held captivity before they were sold as slaves off the sea. So, there you go. Another historical landmark, which, yeah, some got let free, sent back home, others slavery. And it sucked for the Indians. And that's why I'm making these videos, not only to give my huge salute just like to the military, because they fight for our country, they fight for our freedom, and that's the only thing the Indians are doing. But I missed something today also I like to mention about 3 words kids can't say in school and their parents are outraged. Let me find out it's got to do with Muslims. I'm not racist, but what if it is? I missed it because I had to leave. I had to pick up my son. I'm here now doing a meeting. He's doing a therapist meeting or whatnot, but, What more can you do for these people before they take over like the English did to the Indians? Hell, you can't say Merry Christmas no more. You can't say God bless you. I don't know if that's the 3 words they're saying. But they've already said that, and that was like 5-6 months ago. And, of course, you can't say you pledge of allegiance. Well, that's why I'm bringing forth this Indian movement, not only to pay respects to the Indians, not only to tell their stories, show where they lived, and put them back on the map where they belong, but to give them the respect that they deserve. As I can see, me, whether or not I got Indian in my blood, which I know I got probably a little bit more than what I know of. Not only that, it's just I don't hear about Indians as much as we should. And I like to hear some. I would love to see their population grow again. It's due to the wars and the slavery thing. They lost a lot of people. Not many tribes left. And I think that they should get their lands given back to them that they sold to the English back in the 1600s. Just for a place to live. And they had to relocate. And they had to do this. And they had to do that. It's just crazy of what is happening now even happened back then. Like I said, here's the English coming from England. They invade to get in out of their laws and their ways of the English government there, but bring it all here and change a whole fucking nation and a population just for their use. Sick. It's like the friggin' Muslims are doing to us. Come here. Change our ways to make their living comfortable. It's not racism. It's got to do with, respect your freedom. Respect what we give you. It's not, why do we got to change for you? If you want to come here, you got to change. You got to do the rules that were made and done back in 1776. They were made. You got to follow them. You don't want to follow them? Stay where you are. Go back. You got to come here and follow our rules then. Stay over there. Make yourself a fort. Get yourself some guns and weapons. Kill off ISIS and stay there. Rebuild your country back and kill ISIS. That's all you got to do. Get your weapons. Kill them. Make a huge fort. Keep them out like Troy. Like the Iron Horse that they made to go into this castle and attack. Because they thought it was just a horse. They did it back then. Why can't you do it now? Get yourself some tanks, guns, weapons, bombs, grenades. You got them out there. Kill them if you have to sneak up on them. Hide. Hide behind that camel. Hide behind that sand dune. Kill ISIS. Get rid of them. Get your country back. Don't let them take over. If you don't want to follow our rules, if you don't want to say our words of wisdom, the words of our forefathers that were made and put in the constitutional rights to do every day, stay over there. Build your country back. That's all. It's like the Indians. They got to build their country back. They got to build their reputation back. They're going to build their, lives back. You do it. But other than that, got a lot of places of interest coming up. And more history. I also found out in Lancaster that there's a Indian road, original Indian road that still exists. I gotta find it. So Lancaster was a big, huge area for Indians, just as well as Groton and Ayer. And I think it was a huge Nipmuc nation. So, but then again, they say that Fitchburg somehow got the Pawtuckets. I'm sure the Pawtuckets are in there somewhere throughout the Lowell, Chelmsford area. So they could have rounded out and rounded off around towards Fitchburg area too. So that's what they say. They expanded out that way. So there's a lot of shit that's just, it's like wow. And I keep finding it. And there's actually a road, Indian Road, I got to go up on in air. Check that out too. But there's a lot of interest I want to get to and see what I can find more of. Keep the Indian name going. Pay my respects to the original settlers of the United States and what they deserve. Not to label them as and keep them as some savage wild beast that used to roam back in the 1600s. Till the next video, YouTube, which got many more to come. Out.